Music is something that seems important. That seems important to people who think about stuff for quite some time now. A while. You got Pythagoras. He was all about the music, ratios of small numbers, because music is it's vibrations, right? It's sound, but it's ordered sound. And it's ordered sound, and sound is in time, right? Famously, because vibrations are defined by time, motion and time. And you got music. The organization of motion in time, I guess, oscillation, the organization of oscillation, but on two different levels, because you got your melody and your rhythm, and that's both about period of oscillation. You got your frequency that's like a carrier wave kind of for the rhythmic signal. And you got your timbres, and then you got like fucking Confucius, big on the music, Confucius. And then like the Republic, you got to train the Guardians, and in music to make them little pussy boys, so they don't get too brute-headed. That's good. You don't want to be too brute-headed. That's not good for society. But music seems pretty weird, right? Because we love it so much. I don't think other animals like music. They say bird song, but like that's not the same. They're not just like vibing on sound for sound's sake. How come we do? Is that good for survival? No! I don't think so. I mean, it helps us like social bond, I guess, but that's a whole other thing than liking it, I think. Because there's something weird, deep down physical about it. Space and time type shit. Real weird music. But it seems important. People really like it. People like it a whole lot. Like making it, like listening to it. I think listening to music and making music are the same thing. It's music is it's an activity, and it's a mode of being, if you will. It's because music is feeling music. What are you doing, buddy? Music is feeling music, and if you feel the music, if you're tapping your foot along to the music, that's making the music too. And even if you're just like moving, bobbing your head about it, you're contributing to that organization in time of motion, of oscillation. I gotta park somewhere. And that's the thing. People were like, "Oh no, I love listening to music, but I can never make music. I don't know any instruments or anything." What are you talking about? If you like music, you're making music already. That's the same thing. Because you know how to tap your foot to something, and you know how to tap alternating feet to something. And then imagine if tapping one foot made one sound and tapping the other foot made a different sound. Check out this guitar, huh? Whoa! Check out that guitar. It's backwards, but it's very cool. National Westwood map guitar. It's made of fiberglass. And it's got a transducer pickup in the bridge. It sounds like you just put a mic against an unplugged guitar. It's not a piezoelectric, because it's an electromagnetic. It's got a magnet. It's got a magnet in the bridge in a stationary coil. So it's using the vibrations of the bridge, not the disturbances of a magnetic field by the vibration of the strings themselves. So it sounds different. What was I talking about? Music seems important, in life. Never met anyone to whom music didn't seem important. And then when people start to do the big thinking about big stuff that sometimes we call philosophy, we're gonna have to talk about Pythagoras again whenever we find our way back to the start of philosophy, because he's the first philosopher, you gotta say, I think. Philosophy was a word. So here's Greece, right? Here's the Balkan, here's Greece, and then you got so it's mirrored. So hold on. Woo! Woo! What's going on here? You got the Balkan, oh great, now the bus is stopping. And it's mirrored, so you got, see, I want to say that Italy is over here, but if it's mirrored, it's probably over here, maybe. And then you got Asia Minor, and you got, man, okay, I'm going around this bus. And so when you're talking about the beginning of philosophy, what the intro books tell you is you got the Ionian school and you got the Italian school. And that's one of those things where stuff is two, where there's two of something. And it's one of them dichotomies, they say, and that a lot of people like to try to dispel. Because, you know, like a pragmatist or a Buddhist, you're going to hand him a dualism and he's going to say, no, thank you. He's going to try his best to get his mind around how it's not really dualism. But sometimes stuff is two, because sometimes it helps to think about stuff as two. And also, just like in this case, it just happened to be two. Like, it could have been 4, could have been 6, but it was 2. There were these two, you got Asia Minor in Italy, and over here in Asia Minor, you got the Ionian school, and they are the physicists, the physicoi, philosophy, physics, nature, physis, physis. They were doing that. And that's like, you know, describing the cosmos, describing physis, describing the world, and how the world works. And then over here in Italy, you got the Italian school, because they're in Italy. And you got Pythagoras, and Philosophia was basically a name for the people over in what we call sometimes the Italian school. And the Italian school's got the Eleatics, and you've heard of like Zeno's paradoxes and stuff. We can talk about that later. We can talk about all this later. We were talking about music. Pythagoras, he was the music guy, he was the numbers math guy, small ratios of small numbers. And he thought music was very important for that reason. But he was also, the philosophy was like, you ever read, yeah, we were talking about it in the Fido, that, sorry, the Socratic intellectual autobiography. He says, when he was a kid, he was very into Anaxagoras Cosmenian, and that was the physicoi. But then later he got into, so he's got this thing that always stuck out to me that's like, you can say, why is my arm moving? And you can talk about like the muscle fibers and the bones and the electrical signals from the brain that tell nerves to contract and all of that. And you can say that's why it's